David, wake up.
I've just partnered with Boosted Biz on my new clothing line. And we have a bunch of things from hats to hoodies. You know, we got it all. So hopefully you guys support the cause. The link is down below. And thank you in advance.
What's going on, guys? I'm here with Russell Slayton. And, we just partnered recently with my podcast merch. So, I thank him for that. So I'm just going to sit down and talk about, how he started everything and the idea behind it. And, we'll see where it goes. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. And, before I even get into it, what's your background concerning sports?
Concerning sports?
Yeah.
So whenever I wasn't really even like a good high school basketball player, there was a point guard that played ahead of me. He played in the NFL for a long time now, so it's not that bad. But I was a mediocre high school basketball player. I was a little bit of a late bloomer because I was like young in my grade. I probably was like, good enough to do something, but really didn't do much. I went to Duquesne, thinking I was going to be a walk on, and my cousin who was coaching there, he leaves, has a problem with the coach, and essentially I was like an extra head for pickup. But he started like an AAU basketball program, so I was coaching AAU and I was running AAU tournaments in college, and I was kind of like the plug. So all like the college basketball players in the area, they were making money like doing shot clock for my cousin's AAU basketball tournaments in college. And after that, so I was like immersed in like the AAU scene. After that, every Jewish kid thinks that he wants to be the next Drew Rosenhaus or like Leon Rose whenever they leave college. So, essentially I tried to be a sports agent, and I realized, after a couple years, I really didn't like it. I did some deals. I hustled. It's not like I was a failure. I did some deals. I didn't really like it. And I made a pivot, and essentially I became like a professional basketball broker. This is going to sound crazy, not in terms of like revenue and money made, but I was like the largest basketball agency in terms of like the amount of players I had. Like I was getting everybody and their mom, because there's too many basketball players in the world and not enough basketball jobs. So I was doing deals in weird places like Uruguay, United Kingdom, and Japan, and all over the place. But I mean, the names that came across my radar that I represented were crazy. I was getting guys like Josh Smith, and I never had a conversation with Josh Smith. Wow. Roy Hibbert's agent, like wow. Lana Del Don, like, because a lot of their American agents, they need overseas brokers to find them jobs overseas. And some of them, if they're like a superstar, if they're like a star NBA agent, they don't know the first place to look overseas. So I was doing a lot of weird deals, and I really didn't like that either, because your job is dependent on the economy, dependent on like player sprains his ankle. Overseas teams are shady. Like, are they gonna pay you? Or are they gonna pay your commission on time? And I was just tired of like chasing money. So I had a friend who got financed by the Pittsburgh Steelers to be an esports team. He sends me an 18-year-old Korean kid, and I made $50,000 in a day doing an esports deal. And I was like, okay.
What's esports?
Esports is like video gaming, like competitive gaming, right? So I do that. I represent a few League of Legends players, and essentially I'm right place, right time. I'm the only agent really in Call of Duty whenever it franchises, and I get like 45% of the league. And these video gamers, they make money like pro athletes. So I was really cleaning up shop for like the last like 5-6 years in esports, like working with like professional gaming brands like FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves. I don't know if any of that rings a bell. But to be honest, at the end of the day, after working with people after all these years, I realized that I started to hate people. Like it doesn't matter. Like the agency business is it's not like it's not the agents that are the problem. It's not the athletes that are the problem. It's not the teams that are a problem. It's the system, and if they'll fire you for 5 cents and hire somebody else or try and do something without you. And it's just like the nature of the business. And I didn't want my money being dependent on other people. I wanted to be able to like get it myself. So during this time while I'm an esports agent, I'm working on figuring out the best business model. And essentially, like one thing that you know professional leagues couldn't touch is players' own branding. They could own their own brands, whether it's in college or whether it's in esports. Essentially, giving people equity to their own brand. But take it a step further. The point of my business is to create like economic equality. So for an athlete, right, the point is to give the next LeBron James the ability to own his own brand as soon as he could work a computer. So that way, like he could build something sustainable in his life, right? That he can hold on to, that he could own. So instead of like signing with LeBron's first deal with Nike could have been $1 billion and not $100 million, right? Or he could have said, "Let me own LeBron, and give me the $100 million, or I get a royalty or something like that." So the point is like to give people equity and economic equality and a chance to own their own brand. And it's not just for athletes; it's for businesses. And then name, image, and likeness comes on, and like we get on that. We probably are the number one merchandiser in name, image, and likeness, but it's a very like saturated business in terms of like people selling merchandise. So and I'd say businesses sell better than individuals. So like possibly making like a pivot, because I don't think like athletes oftentimes are a little spoiled in terms of like they don't buy their own merch or like really trying to sell it, really trying to brand themselves. They're very busy playing basketball or whatever sport they have. So we were meant to be a turnkey solution, but it's we got to make money at the end of the day. So like anybody who's moving is a client. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, an athlete, a business, or whoever. And pretty soon, also, like right now, we operate under Boosted, but pretty soon we're going to be rebranding to something called Murray Avenue. And that's
Okay.
the logo.
Okay. We'll get to that. But my next question is, what was your aha moment when you had the boosted idea?
Well, my aha moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a moment. I'd say it's a culmination of things and learning things as it goes. Um, where I'm having aha moments all the time. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
say it's like one aha moment, but I'd say my aha moment. Well, my aha moment to not be an agent was when I had kids.
Mhm.
And then I didn't want to travel. And then
Yeah.
my aha moment to do this was I wanted to build something that helps people make money and helps like create like economic equality. Like there was somebody who said something, it was some Instagram post, and he was like, I forget the quote, but it was, you really get rich whenever you help other people make money. So I'm trying to help other people make money, and hopefully like I can get a piece of that. And I want to be the best at doing it.
Okay. Wow. That's a very true statement. The more you're helping others, the more that your income grows as well too.
I mean, we really help others. Like we get people, like what we give people costs like thousands of like $1,000 plus to build, inventory, logo, like
Yeah.
your own website. It's not like you're selling from a platform. Like we bless people, and it's just I think that what we're doing is game changing, but you know we got to make more money. Have to make more money because in order to do something that's game changing, I got to spend a lot of money. So my overhead is crazy, but I got to make more money.
Okay. Nice, nice. And yeah, my next question is like when your business started to take off, what When did you realize it started to take off?
There was two moments that really it took off. One was whenever like we got to work with John Wall, which was like a blessing. Um, and John Wall essentially like verified our business model. Like it it did really, really well. And he he owned his brand. Like he created Wallway and it sold a lot. And he's a player that it cost Reebok 20. I mean, I don't know how much money it cost Reebok to sign John Wall, but let's just say it cost a lot of money. He had his own sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Cost Reebok millions of dollars to get John Wall, and we were able to do it and give John Wall his own brand for free and help him make money and own his own stuff. But could you imagine if like John Wall had this whenever he was in college? It would
Yeah.
have been crazy. So there was one moment there. Um, there was one aha moment there, or I guess I don't know. And the second one was the first month of name, image, and likeness, where I think that we were like ahead of the game and we made a lot of money that month.
Okay.
I think we got like the whole Ole Miss football team in like 2 days.
Whoa.
So it was pretty. It was pretty.
Wow.
It was pretty good time. Um, and Ole Miss is like a mini NFL team.
Yeah. Yeah. Good program, good school as well too.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, okay. Did you have a marketing scheme to market your business, or did it like organically grow into, what it is now?
It's pretty much all been organic and hustle. So, like asking people for referrals, like after we do a good job for them, say, hey, can you introduce me to your friends? It's probably the best way. Also, like when players post, they collab. We ask them to put at Boosted Biz in their bio, which will
Mm-hmm.
be at Murray Ave soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then friends see it. We see who likes it and we reach out. It's pretty much all been organic. We haven't spent any money on marketing or advertising yet. We haven't even launched our brand yet. So essentially, like what we are is we're the technology, we're the service, and we're going to be the brand on the clothes. So the brand on the clothes is going to be Murray Ave. So you could have Wallway on the front, Murray Avenue on the tag. And we're trying to
Okay.
get into like, shoes and stuff too.
Okay. Okay. What made you
I
go
can
that?
I can show you an example. Like here's a trucker hat that we do. This is like the misprint, but if you can see the tag, it says like Murray Ave on the tag.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Smart. Well, what made you go that route? It's a very smart move. Now everything is customized with you,
Um,
partnered with you guys now.
we few things. We want to stand on our quality. We want to stand on our brand, right? Like so, like let's say John Wall does it for Reebok, like it's like doing it for Murray Ave also, or a bunch of different athletes. Like you know, um, that's how we become a brand as well as just a service.
Okay, okay, for sure. And I want to ask, I usually ask everybody that comes on a podcast this, how did your faith and belief play a part in this? I ask this because, at some point you have to believe in what you're doing and the vision that you have. So, how did that play a part in your business?
I'd say like belief in yourself is huge, right? Like you have to believe in yourself. You have to put in the work and you have to grind and you have to know like what your skills are and you have to try and align people around you who are better than you. You have to try and, trust others, but still like have yourself. And you just need to know like you could have belief in yourself. Like I think I have a great business model. Like I think my business model is great. So it's not only just belief in myself, it's belief in the model and making the right decisions whenever I need to make them. Right. But the road of entrepreneurship isn't easy, right? Like there's struggles I have and meltdowns all the time and fires that I'm putting out. Man, I could be out of business in a couple months with a couple bad months of sales. Like I gambled it all on this. Like I'm sitting on tons of inventory, like very expensive machines, high overhead, with a couple months of bad sales, then like I could be kaput, you know? So I'd say that, you have to believe in yourself and you have to hustle. And sometimes you have to reinvent yourself and you have to be able to, you know, pivot and use your brain. So, and if you don't believe in yourself, you can't really do any of that stuff. So it's important to like, drown out negativity, negative thoughts, and, focus on positive energy moving towards your goal.
Okay, okay. And you think that's what kept you going, even when things were hard, even when things didn't seem like it was working, that kept you going? Positivity?
No, I mean, yeah, I think like it helped keep me down, but I'll tell you, like, I mean, keeps me like going, but I'll tell you, negativity can really put you down. And
Mhm.
that's one thing that I just try and stay away from. You got to know, and the work isn't like the meat and potatoes is the work. So like you got to put that in. You got to put it in. You got to get to the meat and potatoes.
Okay. And just a few more questions. And, any tips for someone who wants to start their own clothing brand from scratch, like you did? Any tips for them?
Um, DM Murray Ave. So I would definitely see if you have the like everything is at scale. Will your friends and family buy your merch? Will you buy your merch? Will your friends and family buy your merch? If you market your merch, can it sell anything? Right. So, definitely hit us up because before you go off and you spend a couple $1,000s making your own e-commerce store, see if you could sell a couple t-shirts first and see if you even have the ability to sell. See if people will actually even support you. Because, people say this, they might like your Instagram post, you might have 10,000 followers, you might have a million followers. It doesn't mean that people are going to pay for your stuff. So, I'd say that if there's any tips, I'd say be likable, right? And just be a good person and have people who like really want to support you because I see people who have tons of followers that don't sell a bunch, and I see people who don't have many followers sell a ton. So, you
Mm.
know, I'd say, don't pay attention to every like social media metrics oftentimes don't mean anything. I'd say like character is more valuable. Um, yeah, I mean, did I answer the question right?
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
say
you did.
start small and scale up, you know.
Yeah. So work with boosted, so you don't have to spend
Murray Ave.
so much money,
Yeah.
and be likable, have good character, and all those are very important as well to be an entrepreneur, for sure.
Yeah. Make sure that you'll use the product yourself because if you don't do it yourself, nobody else is gonna buy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. Um, but yeah, I mean that's like the gist of the that's like that's pretty much the gist. You got to put in your own sweat equity.
Well, what is the biggest NBA player you have worked with besides John Wall?
Hmm.
That's
There's been a few, right? Of like upper mid-level guys, like who are great players, like Jordan McLaughlin, Daniel Gafford, um, DJ Augustine, and Josh Okogie. Like there's more. Um, but
I like DJ Augustine. I, I I really like him as a guy and as a player too. Tell him I said what up.
yeah, hopefully he watches this and he sees it himself. We can tag him, see if he replies. Um, but I'd say there's a there's a kid who's like my nephew. His name's Adu Thero. He plays basketball at Kentucky, and I think he's like the next once in a generation basketball player. And he's injured right now, but essentially like he's a super late bloomer. He was like Crazy story. I could tell you the story if you want. Like it would take a couple minutes, but I think that he's the next once in a generation basketball player, just a late bloomer. And there's another kid named Jaden Quaintance who's going to Kentucky next year to play basketball. And I'm good friends with his dad, and I think that he is has a chance at being anything he could be. Also, he's another one. I mean, like you're talking about big, athletic, talented people like that have it all. So I think that both of those guys got a chance.
Okay.
And you know,
Okay.
both of those kids are like family to me. So I mean, I think those two are literally like the business model personified.
Okay. Okay. For sure. And my last question before you get out of here, can you tell us the story with you and Boosie and the encounter you
Boosie,
had? Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
that
he's
shit
a
was
very
crazy.
entertaining guy.
No, so like um I'm at a hotel in Tampa, and when you have kids, sometimes you just gotta let them run around. My wife is working out. I'm trying to eat my breakfast, and my kids are just happy to be at the hotel, so they're running around laps. Now I'm a bad parent. I don't want to yell at my kids. Like, you know, they're running around the hotel having fun. Well, whatever. It's not like they're at a gym or they're at daycare all day or they're going to a swing set. So I'm letting them run around like the breakfast room area, and like it's a restaurant. So they're running around. I'm letting them do their thing, and like I know I'm letting my kids be bad. And like I like look over to the left, and I didn't know it was Boosie, but I could tell this guy was like upset. I could feel like the heat coming off of this guy's face as like this like little like 5 year old and 3 year old are just like running laps around him, going hee 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 hee, loud, just running in front of him, like ruining his peaceful morning. And I could tell this guy was upset. And like like I look again, like I say something to like my son, like Jonah, like stop, like or like calm down. And I look and I get a better look at the guy, and it's Boosie. I'm like, is that Boosie? So I asked the people on the other side of the table. I'm like, yo, is that little Boosie? And she's like, yeah, that's little Boosie. And basically, like, I might have even caused him to like get up and like leave his breakfast early. But as he was getting up, I was like, hey, Boosie, like, let me pay for your breakfast, and let me get a picture. And basically, I did that. And the funny thing about it is, so like we got the picture. Whenever the check came, right? It was before like I told the people to bring me the check. So the lady comes up and brings me a check, right? And he knows like at this point I offered him to make his breakfast. He takes his room key, his room order, he just scribbles down like something on it. He doesn't really write down his room number. He's like, okay, this guy's paying for my breakfast. So like he knew that he left like the waiters like an ineligible like room number. So like
Mhm.
he stuck me with the bill. So that's my story, Boosie.
Wow. Was he
But
was he was he by himself? He's usually not by
he was
himself.
he was by himself.
He's by himself. Wow.
By himself
It
at
must
a
be a
hotel.
quiet neighborhood.
No, he was by himself. I mean, he must have just been like getting ready to go to the airport or something. But I mean, it was just funny because like you think about like this, like the most gangster rap artist, like just looking around at these two like little kids running around like a hotel, like disturbing the peace.
Mm.
And we asked to take a picture with him. So it was cool though. I mean, it's more of a story and experience than it is like, hey, like I got to hang out with Boosie because I did not get to hang out with Boosie.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's all I got. And anything else you want to add before?
Yeah. There's something else I want to add is if anybody out there like a business, athlete, influencer, if you guys want to start a clothing brand, make sure right now we're at Boosted Biz. We may be at Murray Avenue in a few days, but shoot us a DM, and we'll hook you up. And that's really it. And that's all I got for you guys.
All right. Thank you. once again for
Thank
tuning in. And here with Russell Slayton once again. Check out my merch, and check out Murray Ave when it comes out in a couple days as well too. All right, thank you,
All right, respect. I guess
sir.
that's Ali G. I guess you didn't watch that. I'll see you guys later.